In 2012, he made history when he became the first amputee sprinter to compete at the Olympic Games.
How does it feel to be an inspiration the entire world over?
Times magazine says you're one of the 100 most influential people in the world.
Then, 6 months later, everything changed.
The South African police have charged Oscar Pistorius with murder.
Many people considered Oscar Pistorius a hero for his athletic achievements, but should he have been admired in the first place? The new podcast, False Idol, re-examines the life of Pistorius. Tim Rohan is the host of False Idol podcast. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So talk about why is this, I mean, I think we all know the facts behind what happened with Oscar Pistorius, but your perspective in this podcast is maybe we were all viewing this story from just his point of view and the media was? Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, when I went back and looked at the media coverage, it seemed like often we were focusing too much on Pistorius, this hero who had killed his girlfriend, and not enough on Reeva Steenkamp, whose life was tragically cut short. And so we wanted to tell the story, revisit the story, but tell it from a different perspective, from the perspective of Reeva Steenkamp, from the perspective of the victims involved here, and the lives that Pistorius changed along the way. And also, there's a lot of important themes at play here. There's hero worship, toxic masculinity, gender-based violence, and race and privilege in post-apartheid South Africa. So we wanted to take a closer look at those issues while looking at the story from a different perspective. And obviously, all those issues I just raised, they're very relevant in 2021 still.
How much of an impact did it have that there was a female prosecutor involved in this case?
Yeah, no, we got a chance to talk to Andrea Johnson, who is a prosecutor fighting on Reeva's behalf. And she really walked us through every aspect of the prosecution strategy in charging Pistorius with murder. And, she talked at length about, she had a daughter who's around high school at the time, and just what it was like prosecuting this case of a woman who died at the hands of a man, where violence against women is a huge, huge issue in South Africa, and obviously here in the United States too. And so we dedicate a lot of time talking to experts and activists about the issue and walking through the case with Andrea Johnson, the prosecutor.
You also talked to the mother of a former girlfriend of Oscar Pistorius, and their relationship somewhat mirrored what it was like with Reeva Steenkamp.
Yeah, that's the episode that just came out today. We talked to Trish Taylor, the mother of Samantha Taylor, and she describes her daughter's relationship with Pistorius, and they say it was toxic and abusive, and they describe how he was jealous and controlling, and how that obviously led to issues in the relationship. And there were, multiple occasions where, Samantha, the daughter who was dating Pistorius, was afraid of him. And prosecutor Andrea Johnson later, they were drawing parallels and comparisons between Samantha Taylor's relationship with Pistorius and Reeva Steenkamp's. And Reeva, obviously, was the one who lost her life.
But clearly, despite maybe some of the challenges that you bring up, the system worked, did it not?
Yeah, so, I mean, through the process, the murder trial was very prolonged, and there was an appeal. And at first, I think a lot of people, Pistorius was convicted of culpable homicide, and a lot of people thought that was too lenient, and so it was appealed, and eventually it was upgraded. The charges upgraded, but yeah, there's a lot of nuance there, but I think people in the end think they got it right, but maybe not the first time around.
How long is Oscar Pistorius in jail for?
He's up for parole in 2023, so I believe it was around 15 years. I believe that was the number.
All right. Well, for more, you can check out religionofsports.com, and the podcast is False Idol. Thanks so much for being with us, Tim.
Thanks for having me.
Time now for Around Town.